God is good, and today guys, I am going to be doing the very first video for Classes 101, and I'm going to be playing the Paladin in many different MMOs and talking about it. Now this is very subjective, please understand that this is not supposed to be a grading score for the MMO I'm playing. However, obviously that's going to come into play because we're talking about a class that was developed within that game. So sometimes you're going to hear my opinion a little bit on the game, but that's not the point of these video series. It's actually in order that we can explore our favorite class in many different MMOs and give our take on it. Now, since I'm going to be doing Paladin, Paladin's not available in a lot of the MMOs we're going to be playing, so I'll just be playing the closest archetype to the Paladin that I can find in that game that we are playing. Now, unfortunately, the first game on the list was Guild Wars 2. Not my favorite game. Really super not a big fan of this game for many different reasons. However, that was the first one we decided to do. So without further ado, let's roll the intro and get this going.
The most important lesson is it's not a rogue if it doesn't use daggers.
Remember, wizards, when it comes to fireballs, size does matter.
Alright class, settle down. It's time to learn to die like a ranger.
Jimmy, get the glue out of your mouth. Today we're going to be talking about the eternal honor of the Paladin.
Attention class, please be seated.
Now, the Guardians are devoted fighters who protect their allies and smite their enemies by drawing from the power of their virtues. True Guardians are brilliant tacticians and selfless defenders who know how to empower their allies to achieve victory. That is the official explanation from Guild Wars 2 The Guardian. So yeah, it sounds like a Paladin, right? Yeah, it sounds like, you know, that's going to work out really well, isn't it? That's going to be a really fun class to play for somebody like me who loves Paladins, you know, devoting to fighting and smiting our enemies and healing and the power of virtuous tactical combat. Yeah, that's not what I found. But anyway, that's not what I found the Guardian to be like. I mean, technically you can get away with saying all these things, okay, but let's get into the meat here and the reality of the Guardian. Oh boy, in Guild Wars 2. As far as weapons and armor go, it's pretty much what you would expect, right? You wear heavy armor, plate armor, so, you know, you can take, you're supposed to be able to take more damage. The problem is that with Guild Wars 2, they tried to not do the Trinity system, so they tried not to have tanks and healers and DPS. They instead made everybody kind of equal, but yes, I could tell that the Guardian with their armor was able to soak up a little more damage than some of the counterparts in my group, so, I mean, technically, yeah, that's it's okay, but it's not what you would think from a tank. You still take a ton of damage, and honestly, I didn't feel like my armor was protecting me at all. I felt like I just had quite a few extra healing abilities than maybe other classes had, and so I was able to stay afloat a little bit longer. But when I didn't have cooldowns, and I'm trying to hold the aggro, I would most certainly perish an unfortunate death. Now for weapons, once again, very generic, very what you would expect. You can do one-hand and shield, which I did for a while. Ended up going two-hand because really, the only thing that matters in this game is DPS, so it's kind of felt forced into two-hand, which is okay, but yes, they can do sword and board if you want. I really felt very highly pressured to go two-handed, and that's what I mostly played during my playthrough. And that's without even getting into the fact of the aquatic bullcrap, so you have a separate set of weapons and abilities for when you're underwater, but let's not get into that because it's awful. So combat as a Guardian is fast and furious, just like seem to be every class in this game. Everything moves at a really quick pace. You're clicking, you're kind of face rolling through it, especially when you're out in the world single player. I mean, it's just a complete cakewalk. You're just smashing and rolling your face all over the keyboard. Well, actually not all over because it does have limited action sets, so really 1 through 5, just kind of rolling between those. Who gives a crap? You do have a way to close in on the enemy, and you have a way to do an AoE type spin move, which I did quite a bit of that. It's just kind of silly, to be honest. It's not to be taken very seriously, in my opinion. Now, once we got into some group play, it does get a little more difficult because, you know, you die easily, mainly because you don't have a tank or a dedicated healer, so you're just kind of surviving. That's kind of what the combat feels like as a Guardian. You're just surviving. You're not really a tank. You're not really anything different or special than any other class in this game. You're just, you happen to look a little different, and you have, you know, different animations, and it's very flashy, by the way. Just lights beaming all over the place, and just explosions and crazy, wild anime-type animations here. And, you know, it feels kind of loose, too. It doesn't feel like a very tight... It's bad. I didn't like it. I didn't have any fun doing the combat at all. Now, this game offers some other things, by the way, besides combat, which I think is really what probably holds the game together. Of course, I'm not saying it was super easy in group play, because it wasn't. We died several times. More so than being important to the combat and what you do during combat is actually more important what utility you use, which we'll get to in a minute, in order to keep yourself and your party members alive, and less about what you actually do for yourself, okay? So you can just smash roll your way through most content in this game just by rolling 1 through 5 over and over when they're active, right? It's just not good. I didn't enjoy it, and I'm gonna have to give it an F-. I thought the combat was garbage, man. I absolutely hated it. As a matter of fact, there's not many MMOs I hated the combat more than Guild Wars 2. I just did not enjoy it at all. Now, that's subjective. That's my opinion. Take it for what you will. You know, even recording the footage for this game just made me sick. This is awful. So F- for combat, horrible. And judging it by a Paladin standpoint, by the way, guys, I know it's not a Paladin, it's a Guardian, I get it, but from that description, man, that sounds like a freaking Paladin to me, and this played like garbage. I felt like I couldn't keep my party any more alive than anybody else in the party, including, you know, obviously a DPS class. Obviously, a wizard is a DPS class, and I didn't feel like I had absolutely any more power to protect anybody, including myself, anybody, than any other class in the game. And come on, man. What's the point? Don't even... Okay, then just make it one class, and we'll all play the same freaking class, and just let's pick some random freaking abilities, and... anyway, F-, garbage. Not a Paladin, not a Guardian, not anything good or righteous or virtuous. Just another swinging around, doing some special moves, slippity slop through the game. Oh, man. As far as utility goes, though, the Guardian did have some of that, a little bit, right? And that was really the only thing that you really felt useful when you got to do, right? So you have several abilities you can use to heal, right? To heal your party, AoE heals, and they're on cooldowns and all that kind of thing that you would expect. So it does have some utility, and honestly, that was the only good thing I really can think of about the Guardian that is in this game. You know, you could heal, and it felt good to be able to help keep your party alive, and you would get in a clutch moment. And those parts, when that happened, when the magic fell together, was kind of cool, I guess. And yeah, so for utility, I'm gonna give it a much better score than combat, because that was the only good thing about the combat, in my opinion. And they did have some, right? It still didn't feel like a Paladin, though. It just, and once again, I know it's a Guardian. Do not go in the comments and say that, because the description of the Guardian almost matches up perfectly with the Paladin, okay? So don't give me that. It didn't feel right? It felt like because everybody else had this same kind of utility, it kind of washes it out. It kind of makes it null, right? So it's not going to get a good score, even though I thought the utility was fairly good. It's not going to get a good score because everybody had these healing abilities, etc., right? Wizards can heal you a little bit. Like, what? What? In what world do you live in, bro? ArenaNet, what are you talking about? Why can everybody heal some? Why did you think that would be fun? It's an MMO. It's an MMORPG. It's RPG, healing, Dungeons and Dragons. What are you talking about? But anyway, I'm going to give the utility a C, because it was there and it was decent, even though everybody has it, which makes it kind of stupid, right? Like, I don't feel special because I can heal, everybody can freaking heal, right? Stupid. But anyway, I'll give it a C because it did have it, right? And it was the most enjoyable part of the combat to me. Now, for speed and the pace of combat, it was super lightning fast, right? Like crazy, just like I said before, I've already really touched on this. You just kind of roll across the build as quick as you can. As soon as the cooldown is up, you pop it. You don't even really, most of the time, besides the utility traits, you don't even think about what they do or anything. Just, yep, let's do that one now. It's available. You only have 5 really active combat abilities, but they do roll pretty quick. The cooldowns are pretty fast, faster than what I would like, and everything just rolls way quicker than I personally enjoy. And it's one of many reasons I just thought the combat was lame. But yeah, I thought it was way too fast, and it's just way too much just button mashing, right? No strategy really there on the actual combat element of it. A little bit because of utilities, because you do have to save, you know, certain utilities until they're needed. You do have to work with your group, like they're gonna heal, maybe you don't waste your heal, so a little bit of conversation there. So it's not completely garbage because you do have to pace when you do heals and things like that when you're in group play. Now, when you're single player, it just doesn't matter, right? You just face roll your way through, so that hurts it a lot. So I'm not going to give it a very good score on pace because I think it's too fast. I think it's no strategy there, right? And which that changes your pace, right? So even if the cooldowns were quick, if you had to strategize more on what you're actually doing in typical play of this game, at least from my perspective, then it would change the pace. So I'm going to give it an F+, okay? You get the plus because the utility you had to play around with a little bit, right? So you get that from me, ArenaNet. There you go. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Guild Wars 2. Now, for identity alignment, this is going to get real ugly, guys, because there is no identity to classes in this game, okay, at all. So forget about the Paladin, forget about the Wizard, forget about any of your classic tropes that you love, and the reason that you picked that class and just throw it in the freaking garbage because, yes, you're going to get your own flashy animations, your own names, your own little icon for your thing to go. But that's it. That's all you're going to get because there is no identity. This is supposed to be a Paladin type, okay? And it's not a tank. It doesn't protect people. There is no identity in this game. So I'm giving this a straight up triple F minus. Triple F minus. Awful, garbage, doesn't even deserve anybody's time in my opinion, and I am so sorry if there's somebody that's a fan of my channel that likes Guild Wars 2, and I'm not sorry because of what I said, I'm sorry because you need to play better games. This is garbage, this is not what MMOs are supposed to be like, and I am uninstalling this game, I'm never playing it again. It is awful, man. I'm ashamed that this exists in the same planet that I do. So now, what can Pantheon do and take from the Paladin in Guild Wars 2 and implement into their game? Nothing, please. Don't even look at it. Pretend like this game doesn't exist, please, Visionary Realms, and move along your day. This is not a real MMO, in my opinion. Just nothing. Zero. Nothing. Take nothing from it, please, dear Mother of God, and all that is holy. Do not take anything from this game, please. No, nothing. So finally I can uninstall the game because that's the end of this video. Now the overall score is of course a flaming F. Awful, just on fire. I'm trying to stay calm. Alright, so I don't like it. I didn't like the class, I didn't like the Guardian, I didn't like their take on a Paladin archetype. I didn't enjoy it, and it really, and I tried to keep this about the class. I really did, guys, but the class is ruined by the game not having the Trinity system, right? You gotta have that. You need class identity. It's one of the main reasons I'm looking so forward to Pantheon, because they're putting so much emphasis on the classes, right? Because classes are what makes me initially get involved in the game, and this game doesn't care about classes. To be honest, it really doesn't, and I didn't like it. If you enjoyed Guild Wars 2, I still love you, and I just don't understand, right? That's all. I just don't understand. It's beyond my realm of understanding of how anybody could enjoy this game. I hope you got a good laugh, though. Honestly, though, I wasn't even trying to be funny. Really, that's how I feel. And as I'm having to edit, and I had to play this awful game, and I had to replay it to get more footage, and I didn't do it for long because I just can't stand it, and I'm so looking forward to getting this off of my computer, and I literally will never, nobody will ever talk me into playing Guild Wars 2 again, no matter what. I don't care what, I will not play this game. I did not like it. I had the worst time. The only thing that made it worth it is I got to play some good people, right? Drac Attack, Minus, and Theric were a ton fun to play with, right? But I could literally play Pong with those guys. I could literally do anything but play Guild Wars 2 ever again. I will not do it again. It will not happen. This will never be installed in my home ever again. As a matter of fact, I won't even go to someone's house. If I look over and I see they got Guild Wars 2 on their computer, I will leave. I will not. I don't even want to see a video for this game. I don't want the words to ever come out of my mouth ever again. I'm done. Thank God, it's over. Thank you everybody for sticking through this video, and I'm sorry that I get so emotional, but I love MMOs, and this is not an MMO. This is not. No, it's not. Don't care. It's not. Sorry, guys. Thank you very much for sticking through that with me, though, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you at least got a laugh out of my anguish, and look forward to the other ones where we're actually going to play real MMOs. Coming up next is EverQuest 2. Super looking forward to that. You guys know I love that game, so we're going to be playing that, and we'll be playing an actual Paladin that actually feels like one, and I'm looking forward to it a lot. Make sure you head over to Pantheon Plus, because Minus has already posted his. Depending on when you watch this, Drac Attacks may be up, as well as Theric's, and it's really cool to see their opinions and what they think about their class, and of course it all boils down to what game was it that made this class, right? So anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Until next time, God bless and happy gaming. What I say, I've been making videos all day. It's a video buffet, you can even hit replay. But please just subscribe. I can't even describe being part of my tribe. I'll even offer you a prize. But just please just subscribe and hit the bell notification too.